Yankees are still prowling around, lurking in the weeds for a bat. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. So the Yankees have the Detroit Tigers today, this afternoon, and I have the lineup for you. Beforehand, first of all, Oswaldo Cabrera was scratched from the lineup a little while ago, and he's sick, not injured. Aaron Boone confirmed that, so thankfully it's not the case. But he's also, and I mentioned this, he's also one of the more tradable pieces, and the Yankees are in the hunt actively for a right-handed bat who can play infield and outfield. Which is interesting too, but I could see the logic in it too, especially with Giancarlo Stanton out, because by doing that, you have third base. You would have third base covered in this regard, and you can either move Aaron Judge to DH on a couple days a week, which will save his legs, and you won't sacrifice any productivity on the offensive side replacing Giancarlo Stanton. But you also get Trent Grisham and his elite glove in the outfield. Okay, to go along with Cody Bellinger and if Aaron Judge isn't there, you have Jason Dominguez, so you can maneuver things around. So if Judge is DHing, then you can have Cody, Dominguez, and Grisham in the outfield. And Grisham's got a tendency for pop hitting, right? For clutch hitting, he's got some power in his bat. So and you have an elite glove there. And either way, you'd be surrounding Jason Dominguez, who needs time to work his way through his learning process in the outfield as a rookie. So you'd be supplanting him with some support. So, and I like the fact we'd be giving Grisham more at bats in this particular situation, and moving Judge over to DH while Stanton's out. I think it would be an upgrade on the Yankees, just the mechanism of the offense itself. So, and while they try to look for whoever they're still looking for the infield, I still think they're going to bring in somebody. I still don't know who it is, but they made it clear they're not sold on Oswaldo or Peraza or obviously DJ as a starting third baseman. I'd see one or two of those guys at the bench, right? But I can't see them being a starter. And I know some fans would like that, and I get it. I totally get it. But the fact that the Yankees are still actively looking for somebody who can play a corner infield spot is all but confirmation that they're not sold on any one of these guys as a starter, which it makes sense. It makes sense. So when this move, whatever this move happens, again, we're a little over 2 weeks away from opening day. So it's right around the corner. And keep in mind, some of the last couple of years, some of the late spring training moves that Brian Cashman's made, he brought in Jose Trevino at the end of spring training, John Birdie at the end of spring training. These guys wound up being productive teammates and players for the Yankees. So he has a tendency to make last-minute end of spring training deals. So I do expect him to make. So I don't know who it's going to be, but if you want to know who it is, just make sure that you're subbed here if you haven't done that yet, and make sure you turn on your notifications, because when news does come out, you will get it. You'll be at the front of the line when it happens. And I thank you so much for it. Now, with that said, this is today's lineup, okay, against the Detroit Tigers. We got Austin Wells leading off at the dish. Jason Dominguez in left field, batting second. Cody Bellinger batting third in right field. Paul Goldschmidt batting cleanup at first base. Jazz Chisholm batting fifth, second base. Anthony Volpe batting sixth at shortstop. Trent Grisham batting seventh in center field. Oswald Peraza batting eighth at third base, and Ben Rice is DHing today and batting ninth. And on the mound, making his second start, is Max Fried. And keep in mind, too, I think he's up for the task. When Spencer Strider went down with the Braves with Tommy John surgery, who stepped up in his stead? Admirably, Max Fried. He's kind of going to be doing the same thing here for GERRIT Cole. And I hope the expectations don't go through the roof with him. I just would let Max Fried be Max Fried. I do think that, the rest of the starters would need to step up, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees add a starter. And keep in mind, too, there's a lot of speculation right now, a lot of stuff going on about the Yankees getting money coverage on GERRIT Cole as part of his contract and so on, 20-something million. That doesn't mean they get a $20-something million break in the payroll. The payroll remains the same, whether insurance pays for it or not. Okay? So the payroll stays at 301 or 302. They can bring in somebody at half that contract, the savings. So let's just say they save 27, they bring in somebody for 13. The 27's gone because they're over the Cohen threshold, right? So um, that's just the way that it is. And luxury tax ramifications still remain the same. The loss of draft picks still remain the same, and so on and so forth. So that's just something that needs to be pointed out, needs to be emphasized because it's important to have an understanding of that. And so and again, the fact of the matter is, I agree with Brian Cash when he said there's really not much out there that's worth overpaying for in a salary or in trades and prospects. Who's available that they know they can get that's worth an overpay? We don't know that Dylan Cease is available. The Padres haven't said it. Beat writers are proposing it. YouTubers and people on X are proposing it. That doesn't mean he's available. Michael King. I mean, they added Nick Pivetta. They've added some role players to the team. So they might be making a run for it as far as we know. But if they get an offer they can't refuse, okay. But Michael King and Dylan Cease, they also have 1 year left on their control, on their contracts. They're both free agents after this year. So I'm not giving up a bunch of guys with controllable years for either one of them. Doesn't make any sense, right? And somebody proposed yesterday Spencer Jones and George Lombard and Will Warren for Sandy Alcantara. No, thank you. Super hard pass times 5. Okay, but that's just me. Kudos for the outside the box thinking, but I don't think the Yankees would ever do that for a guy coming off Tommy John. So, but he's got a big arm, no doubt about it. And the Marlins have needs. So we'll see who they wind up with. I don't know who it's going to be, honestly. People are saying Lance Lynn, people are saying Eric Fetty. But my guess is, if Brian Cashman does make the deal, it's probably going to be for somebody we're not thinking of. So I would still stay tuned, right? Stay tuned. So, and I'll keep you in the loop on when we do hear stuff, no doubt about it. Now on the football side, the Giants have Russell Wilson coming into town. So, if I'm them, I'm not letting him leave the building. He's meeting with the Cleveland Browns, and then meeting with the Giants. And meeting with the Browns today, and he's coming to New York to visit the Giants. I would not let the man out of the building until the decision's been made. Honestly, I would rather have him over Aaron Rodgers in MetLife. It's just too much headaches with the Aaron Rodgers situation. So, and the Giants need less headaches. And I think Russell Wilson will give him a little bit more stability there at the quarterback position. And they seem to they're loading up on the offensive line so far in free agency. So maybe it'll give him as much protection as possible. Or you can give him some weapons to throw to handoff too. But that's just my take. My guess they'll probably try to draft a quarterback too in the high rounds to replace Russell Wilson. But we'll see about that too. But nevertheless, what do you think about the lineup? I think this is going to be similar to what we'll probably see on opening day. Right, with quite a few of these guys in there, obviously most of them in this particular order. There could be some maneuverability here too, but I wouldn't be surprised if Austin Wells leads off. It's kind of reminded me of this Kyle Schwarber type leadoff. A leadoff hitter is not known for his speed. It's known for more contact and power and just a little bit more of a banger than a runner. This is what Austin Wells is showing. He's hit 2 or 3 leadoff home runs this spring already so far. So I'm not anointing him Ricky Henderson, but he's showing some productivity at the leadoff spot, setting some of these other guys up. So, and if they move Judge to DH a couple days, then you can get Trent Grisham in there. Then you have makings of a pretty decent outfield in there, So, and at that point, again, I think the more playing time Trent Grisham gets, I think the better off he's going to be here. He didn't get much playing time last year, but he was good when he did play. And it would also take some of the load off of Jason Dominguez too. But I think they're going to add a bat at that third base. I do. I don't have a clue in the world who it's going to be. But my guess is it'll probably be an upgrade over what we have now. Otherwise, they won't do it. But let me know what your thoughts are. We'll recap the game afterward. Hopefully, they can beat up on the Tigers. Let's go Yankees.